Now, I would like you to listen. Whatever you didn't ask God, He might not want to answer. Whatever you didn't ask God, He might not want to answer. Now, God believes He has blessed us when we desire to ask. When you have something you want God to do for you, start asking questions around it first. Sometimes don't persuade Him to do it. Ask questions around it. If you look at Jeremiah chapter 33 verse 3, He said, call upon me and I will show you great and mighty things. Now, the promise that I will show you, but the first demand is that you should call. He said, call unto me. It's not God that will call, it's you. Now, you can't call upon God until there is something you want to discover. Father, everybody in my family is going up and down. What is causing it? That is call on me. And then the reply of God is that I will answer thee. Then I will show you great and mighty things that you don't know. I've been praying for baby since about 5 years, 6 years. What is happening? That is call on me. Then you listen. What is happening? It might be more important than say, Pastor, shepherd, pray. What is happening might not be my prayer. What you need might not be my prayer. But you cannot know what you need until you call. You call unto Him. Or maybe I am already praying and He has not answered yet. Don't ask me to pray more. Call upon Him. Lord, I've been asking for baby since 5 years. Why have I not gotten it? You wait. Thank you. That's what I want. I always know what I want. I want discovery to be dark, very black. Now, when you call, you wait. It is very painful for someone to keep on asking for something over and over without asking. That's why I call it riches of discovery. Because discovering the cause of that problem is part of the answer. Let me say it again. I said discovering the part of the problem is part of the answer. Knowing what to do is part of the answer. Did you write down your paper? I said knowing what to do is part of the answer. Understanding the source of that problem is part of the answer. Calling upon God is part of the answer. Now, revelation of answers bring peace. The servant of Elisha was petrified by fear because he saw a host of soldiers. And Elisha said, Lord, open his eyes. When his eyes was open, he had peace. Now, his eyes open because Elisha asked. As Elisha. Now, I'm thinking that we should look at that. 2 Kings chapter 4. Sorry, 2 Kings chapter 6. Verse number 15. 2 Kings chapter 6, 15. He said, and when the servant of the man of God was risen ready, gave forth, behold, a host compassed the city, both horses
and chariots. And his servant said unto him,
Alas, Master, how do we do?
And he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be without.
Now look at number 17.
And Elijah prayed and said,
Lord, I
pray thee, open his eyes,
that he may see.
And
Thank you. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young servant, and he saw, behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots
of fire ran about.
Now Elijah prayed, and then when his eyes opened in response to prayer, he saw support. Now nobody remains the same when the eyes of that person opens. I said nobody remains the same. Write on your paper. So it is a great miracle for somebody's eyes to open. Let me ask you to listen. The opening of the eyes is the answer, the first step to your miracle. Let me say it again. I said the opening of eyes is the first step to your miracle. I want to write it on your paper. You want God to do something for you? I said the opening of the eyes is the first step to miracle. A lot of, can I tell you something? Can you look up? Let me say something. A lot of believers are adding years in their Christianity without adding experience. There is complacency. People are saying, I am a man of God, but you don't have experience. Now experiences produce confidence. It is the reward of many years of service. Something that you gained because you have served for a long time. You discover that some spirits are with you because of the area you have served, because of the area you have served, because of your consistency in service. And then, thank you, that's exactly what I want. Put your hand together for Kennedy. You see it? You see what you see? I know what I want. Huh? His eyes. Now when I became a preacher, I had prophetic eyes, but then I started developing mental eyes. There's a difference between prophetic eyes and mental eyes, and there is a difference between mental eyes and spiritual eyes. There is eyes of discernment. Now some of these eyes are spiritual, prophetic. Now, but do you know that the mental eyes is what has made that man an MD of a bank, and the prophet is still smaller than him? You see, because the eyes, the spiritual eyes that God has, that produces the character of his royalty, is superior to the prophetic eyes. Let me get a seat from somebody. Let me explain it. Let me get a seat from. I need to get a seat from you so I can explain it. And if you love a prophet, some of us who dream dreams and make mistakes, I want to help you 1 minute. Keep coming if you're coming. Keep coming. Don't hurry me up. Allow me to stay in it for a while. You will need it, and then send it to a pastor who is a man of God. What I'm about to start sharing. Send it to a pastor. These mysteries. Now, what I'm about to explain, or what I'm explaining, is something is called eyes of discernment. Something eyes of the prophetic. The eyes of dream. You dream. You are inspired in the night. There are eyes. You had a voice. You had. Now these eyes are prophetic. It can be discernment, or you are a seer. Somebody was coming and you saw that person very well. Your eyes open and you saw. You saw that person. That is in the prophetic. You call the person and say, I know where you're coming from. That's so and so place you went. That is prophetic. Now, these eyes I mentioned now, they are not as powerful because it is without gift. It is without repentance. It is not as powerful as the eyes of character that make God God. And that make God who he is. What do I call it? Eyes of, yes, it could be spiritual eyes in the realm, mental eyes. We call it character eyes. It is that eyes, the eyes of imagination, the eyes of learning. It is character. That character eyes is why that man is an MD of a bank. That is why that man didn't go to university as per se, but he has built a university and he has employed professors because he has character eyes. Now, principally, God is made God because of character eyes. Pay attention to me. Those who have character eyes don't respect discernment. I don't know what has I been able to say it. I said those that have character eyes don't respect spirituality or prophecy. Now, if you look at 12 of the book of Numbers, the difference between Moses and Aaron and Miriam is that Aaron and Miriam, they were using spiritual discernment, prophecy, vision. But Moses was used character eyes that made him a god. The character eyes is revelational. Why I call it character is because it's stable. I say it is. It's stable now. It's stable. It doesn't make mistake because it's character eyes. It's stable. The revelation came to them. So in John chapter 10, they are gods. They are gods because they have character eyes. Don't forget, discernment is a small part of character eyes. Now, you cannot give character eyes to an illiterate, but an illiterate can operate gift. Somebody who is not mentally stable can operate gift, but people who are unstable can operate character eyes because they are gods. He said, Moses, you will see me the way I am. That is similitude in Numbers chapter 12. So you don't do gara gara around Moses because he will see you the way you are. Have I explained it? Have I explained it? In discernment, prophets can make mistake. Prophets can make mistake. Prophets can make mistake. But character eye doesn't make mistake. That is why all that rule, the spirit of understanding is superior to prophecy. The spirit of wisdom, the spirit of knowledge the spirit of counsel. If a prophet is prophesying without understanding, then he will have problem. You see, because he will suffer the pain of dark speeches. That is, he will try to interpret something the way those things are not. Because God chose to hide it from him. Can I explain it one more time? When somebody is a prophet or a prophetess, like Aaron and Miriam, God hides himself from them. Sometimes. Now, when I think I should make you read that, when the Bible says, I will talk to you in vision, I will talk to you in dream, it means that God is hiding himself from them. Remember that in dream you don't see God, you hear voice. If we read it, you get clear. So before I go away from it, Numbers 12 verse number 6, he said, and he said, hear now my word. If there be a prophet among you,
I the Lord will make
myself known unto him in a vision,
and will speak unto him in a dream.
My servant Moses
is not so,
who is faithful
in all my house.
Number 8, with him
will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently,
not in dark speeches,
and the similitude of the Lord shall he behold.
Now you don't, if you have discernment, you don't behold God's similitude. A small p prophet doesn't behold God's similitude. Similitude means, and that is why a prophet who cannot behold God's similitude, when God choose to hide himself from him, he will be making mistakes. Once in a while he will say something God didn't say, because that day God chose to hide himself from him. But somebody who is carrying God cannot make mistake, because he's beholding similitude. Now let me get out of this by telling you something. If you are watching online or you are in this hall, your next level is in something you need to discover. So if I were you, as I'm sharing, I would like you to start praying and say, Lord, what is it that I have to discover from now that will represent my next level? And then if you are alive, I would like you also to know that there is something God is hiding from you. And I would like you to say, Lord, I know you're hiding something from me. Let me discover it. So I want you to believe that God is hiding something from you. There is something God is hiding from every human being that is alive. Can I say it again? I said there is something God is hiding from every human being. That is, now when I come down from here, I will start seeking something that God is hiding from me. Because hiding something from me is why I'm still alive. And my next level is to discover that thing God is hiding from me, because that controls my riches. And I am coming to my real message now on living from and for the system that produces you. Living from and for the system that produces you. Now, I mentioned it on Sunday. I want to spend a short time to deliberate on it. The Bible says in 66 of the book of Isaiah that woman gave birth. And she gave birth to a man child. He said before she traveled, she brought forth, and before her pain came, she was delivered of a man child. Now, that she there is what I call a system, a structure, a foundation, a root, a way of living that gave birth to that boy. Now, you were given birth by a system to live for the system. You cannot deny that system. Now, the Bible called that foundation is she. Remember that you came from a system to produce another system. Let me say again. I say you came from, you are a daughter of a woman and you are now a mother.